Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Wealth Simplified. I am your host, Tony Raymond, owner and wealth advisor at Raymond Financial. And today I wanted to talk about the difference between indexed funds and mutual funds. Both of these get a lot of conversation around them. They're very, very popular investments. So at the very basic level, the difference is, let's take an index like the S&P 500, which is 500 of the largest companies in America. An index fund will look at the S&P 500 and just duplicate it. Owns everything that's in there, owns all 500 companies as they're allocated in that index. You can do this for very, very cheap, hundredths of a percent for expenses. So that's why they're gaining popularity. There's very, very few fees. The difference between an actively managed mutual fund is they can look at that same index. Let's stay with the S&P 500. They look at those same 500 companies, but you pay a little bit extra to a manager of that mutual fund to sift through those 500 companies and decide which ones they think are going to do better long term, maybe even which ones they're going to do better short term. They get to pick and choose which companies they want to own. So instead of owning all 500, they can pick maybe their top 200 favorite that they think are going to do better. One of the debates in our industry is which one is going to be better. My take on it is that we don't know. You can look over the history of when index funds became a thing, when mutual funds became a thing, and you can pick different time periods. Index funds outperform. You can pick a different time period, mutual funds outperform. So my thought process in sticking with kind of the idea of diversification is, when in doubt, spread it out. If you don't know which one is going to do better over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, own both of them. If you own an index fund that just tracks the index for very, very low expenses, great. If that does better, you win. On the flip side, if the market's turbulent and it's a better environment for mutual fund managers and they outperform, great. You owned that as well. So you win. You're always going to end up somewhere in the middle. I just don't know if it's worth it to take the risk to jump into one just because one has really low fees. Great. You're not paying anything, but you might not get the return of a mutual fund. On the flip side, do you really want to pay somebody that's looking at the same index that you could just own for free? So I understand both sides of the debate, but if you own both of them, right, you're always going to be in the middle. Index fund, nobody's managing, pay nothing for. Mutual fund, people are managing and you do pay a little bit more for it, but they're doing work. They're moving investments in and out of the fund itself. They're making sure that they are trying to reduce your risk by not investing in maybe some of the worse off companies inside of that index. So just a quick little clarification video on that. My take on the debate between active mutual funds and passive index funds. Wanted you to know the difference. So that's all I had for today. But if you have any questions, as always, I'll throw my information up on the screen. Feel free to send me an email to tony@raymondfinancial.com. And I would love to hear what topics you guys want to talk about. And I will see you next episode. Thank you.